Do you feel like you don't speak enough Hebrew? That you need to know more words? Then stick around. With these lessons, you'll pick up some of the most common words in just a few minutes. Now, this video is a small portion of our learning program. To get the full lessons, translations, and Fluency Fast study tools, click the link in the description and sign up for your free lifetime account.
Hello everybody, Dit here. Welcome to Hebrew Top Words. Today we are going to talk about 10 must-know words to party in Israel. Let's start. Mesiba. Party. Mesiba. Party. כבר שלחת את ההזמנות למסיבת יום ההולדת שלך? Have you sent your birthday party invitations yet? In Hebrew, party means mesiba, and it can be any sort of party, like in a club or like a grown-up tea party or a kiddie party at the park with like a clown or something. Yeah, it's cute. לרקוד. Dance. לרקוד. Dance. אני אוהב לרקוד גם בלי מוזיקה. I love to dance even without music. Yeah, why not? Dance like nobody's watching, right? מועדון. Club. מועדון. Club. הברגהיין הוא המועדון המפורסם בעולם. Berghain is the most famous dancing club in the world. So the word moadon means club, and it's not necessarily a dancing club. Like in English, it can mean like a members club or any sort of like other type of clubs, I guess, of groups that people go to. But in colloquial language, you mainly talk about dancing clubs, so therefore that's what it means. But you should know that it's not necessarily that. So if you see that word in a paper or something, it doesn't necessarily mean like a dance club. להשתולל. Go wild. להשתולל. Go wild. לפעמים כיף לצאת ולהשתולל עם חברים. Sometimes it's fun to go out and get wild with friends. So as long as you're having good, honest fun, taking care of yourselves and not hurting anybody, go ahead and go wild. One point is that the word להשתולל, it's not just for like having fun, it's also for kids who are kind of out of control and, just can't sit down. So we use that word also. So it's not just having fun, it's also just literally just being wild. לשתות. Drink. לשתות. Drink. במסיבות נהוג לשתות אלכוהול. It is common to drink in parties. Obviously, the same in English. When we say drink, we don't necessarily mean to drink alcohol, and we don't have to mention alcohol when we're talking about drinking it. So it kind of depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about going out with friends, when you say we're going out to drink, of course it's not going to be lemonade. לחיים. Cheers. לחיים. Cheers. לפני ששותים לגימה, מרימים כוסית לחיים. Before the first sip, we make a toast. So instead of saying cheers, I guess every language has their own cheers. In Hebrew, it's לחיים, which literally means to life. And if you know the play Fiddler on the Roof, then I guess you already knew that לחיים means to life. להשתכר. Get drunk. להשתכר. Get drunk. לא מוכרחים להשתכר כדי ליהנות. One doesn't have to get drunk in order to have fun. You know what? That really depends where you are. If you're having like a family dinner and you're single and everybody's badgering you about getting married and having kids, maybe you should get drunk to have fun. I'm just saying. Arak. 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 Arak הוא המשקה האלכוהולי האהוב עליי. Arak is my favorite alcoholic drink. So if you're familiar with arak, it tastes very, very strongly of licorice. So if you don't like that, I don't think you're gonna like arak. It is very strong, which I'm not a fan of, but it really goes well with grapefruit juice, so what can you do? Muzika. Music. מוזיקה. Music. המוזיקה כאן רועשת מדי. The music here is too loud. That's me everywhere, anytime, anyplace. Hangover. 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 בכל יום ראשון אני סובל מ-hangover. Every Sunday I suffer from a hangover. Every Sunday, if it's every Sunday, then you have a problem. Sorry. Alright everybody, that's it. Those were 10 top words to know when partying in Israel. Let me know in the comments below some of your experiences from partying too hard. And if you're a party animal or not at all, like me. And yeah, don't forget to check out HebrewPod 101 for more content, more Hebrew, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. Litraot. Hi everyone, Edith here. Welcome to Hebrew Top Words. Today we are going to talk about top 10 phrases to survive at the station. To be honest, the stations are not too complicated. You don't really have that many lines in each station. It's usually just like one line going either north or south. So it's not that confusing. And you don't really have to change a lot of trains usually because there aren't that many lines. So it's not that difficult, and everything is English too. Like you have Hebrew and English everywhere. If you want to challenge yourself, you can speak Hebrew. But you really don't have to. Alright, let's dig in. איפה אני מחליף רכבת לגן החיות התנ"כי בירושלים? איפה אני מחליף רכבת לגן החיות התנ"כי בירושלים? Where do I change for Jerusalem Biblical Zoo Station? איפה אני מחליף רכבת לגן החיות התנ"כי בירושלים? איפה אני מחליף רכבת לגן החיות התנ"כי בירושלים? Where do I change for Jerusalem Biblical Zoo Station? To be honest, the trains to Jerusalem are not the easiest, but there is a station, like a train that goes straight into the zoo, which is really nice. And it's a really nice zoo, so if you get the chance, you should go there. זה עוצר בתחנת עזריאלי? זה עוצר בתחנת עזריאלי? Does this stop at Azrieli station? זה עוצר בתחנת עזריאלי? זה עוצר בתחנת עזריאלי? Does this stop at Azrieli station? So Azrieli station is a very, very central station in the middle of Tel Aviv. It's close both to a very famous military base, which is the most important military base in Israel, and also just close to like a big shopping mall and city center. So a lot of people go through there like from all over the country to Azrieli station and from Azrieli station to anywhere else. זהו הרציף הנכון לתחנת סבידור מרכז? זהו הרציף הנכון לתחנת סבידור מרכז? Is this the right platform for סבידור מרכז station? זהו הרציף הנכון לתחנת סבידור מרכז? זהו הרציף הנכון לתחנת סבידור מרכז? Is this the right platform to Savidor Merkaz station? Savidor Merkaz is like I think one station after Azrieli. It's also quite central, and I think Tel Aviv has the most amount of stations, like train stations, than any other city, which makes sense. I mean, it's the biggest one. אני רוצה לנסוע לתחנת סבידור מרכז. אני רוצה לנסוע לתחנת סבידור מרכז. I'd like to go to סבידור מרכז station. אני רוצה לנסוע לתחנת סבידור מרכז. אני רוצה לנסוע לתחנת סבידור מרכז. I'd like to go to סבידור מרכז station. That sounds to me more like a reply. Like if somebody asks you, "Oh, where do you need to go?" and then you say, "I want to go to da 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 da." Because if you just come up to somebody, it's usually like, "Excuse me?" No, 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 no. Like you ask a question, right? So this is more of a reply, I believe. איפה תחנת הרכבת? איפה תחנת הרכבת? Where's the train station? איפה תחנת הרכבת? איפה תחנת הרכבת? Where's the train station? It's usually pretty hard to miss. The stations are quite big because there aren't that many lines. A lot of people use the same lines. So they're usually like big and getting bigger all the time. So, yeah. היכן ניתן לקנות כרטיס? היכן ניתן לקנות כרטיס? Where can I buy a ticket? היכן ניתן לקנות כרטיס? היכן ניתן לקנות כרטיס? Where can I buy a ticket? Like anywhere, I guess, in the world, you have the cashier, like a human cashier, and you also have like the automatic machine that you can buy tickets, and it's all in English as well, so if you go, don't worry. I think there's special seats. There's special seats for elderly people or people who are handicapped, but that's pretty much it. Soldiers, if they need to show like a soldier certificate, and also policemen, if they have a policeman certificate and they are on uniform, not off uniform, they don't have to pay the ticket to go anywhere in Israel with public transportation. But if you're a soldier or a policeman and you're not wearing your uniform, then it's still going to cost money. כמה זה לגבעתיים? כמה זה לגבעתיים? How much is it to גבעתיים? כמה זה לגבעתיים? כמה זה לגבעתיים? How much is it to גבעתיים? Givatayim is quite a small city that's pretty much annexed to Tel Aviv. They're pretty much connected, but it's a separate, I guess, separate enforcement. I don't know. There isn't really a train station there. You can get there quite easily by train, but it's not in Givatayim, it's in Tel Aviv. So when we want to ask about anything, how much is it, we can say kama ze, which is quite a simple way to ask how much something costs. And when you want to get somewhere, you just add le, which means to. So kama ze, how much, le, to, whatever. So for instance, you can say, if you want to go to Azrieli station, you can ask kama ze le'Azrieli. That's pretty standard way of asking how much is it. האוטובוס הזה נוסע לבת ים? האוטובוס הזה נוסע לבת ים? Does this bus go to בת ים? האוטובוס הזה נוסע לבת ים? האוטובוס הזה נוסע לבת ים? Does this bus go to בת ים? Bat Yam is also a small town, small city pretty much, that's also annexed to Tel Aviv from the south. It's actually very close to Jaffa. And it's connected to Tel Aviv via the promenade. Like you can get all the way from northern Tel Aviv to Bat Yam just walking on the beach, which is really nice. And it's a nice place actually. It didn't used to be, but now it really is. היכן תחנת האוטובוס? היכן תחנת האוטובוס? Where's the bus stop? היכן תחנת האוטובוס? היכן תחנת האוטובוס? Where's the bus stop? Another way of asking where is something that's a bit more colloquial and not so correct Hebrew is to ask איפה instead of היכן. For instance, I can ask איפה תחנת האוטובוס? And not היכן תחנת האוטובוס? היכן kind of will make you sound a little bit like you're just learning Hebrew. Yeah, I mean it's very correct, but it's kind of old-timey. באיזו שעה יוצא האוטובוס הבא? באיזו שעה יוצא האוטובוס הבא? What time is the next bus? באיזו שעה יוצא האוטובוס הבא? באיזו שעה יוצא האוטובוס הבא? What time is the next bus? When we use the word יוצא, we mean what time does it leave? יוצא means leave or going out. We don't have to use it. We can also make it a bit shorter and just ask מתי האוטובוס הבא? When is the next bus? Okay guys, that's it. Those were 10 phrases to survive the stations. Let me know in the comments below if you ever had like a funny incident when you were in a station, like in your country or in somewhere abroad. God knows that things can happen when you're abroad and it's sometimes really funny. So yeah, let me know some stories and some questions that you have. Okay, and don't forget to check out HebrewPod101.com for more Hebrew, more content, and more videos. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. להתראות.
שלום,
שלום.
מה שלומך?
בסדר, תודה. שלום, קוראים לי טל.
שלום, אני יעל.
נעים מאוד.
נעים מאוד גם לי. ברוך הבא. כנס בבקשה.
תודה. הנה מתנה קטנה ממני. בבקשה.
תודה רבה.
בבקשה.
אוו. סליחה,
מה?
כף הרגל שלי.
או, סליחה.
ערב טוב.
שלום. אפשר לקבל תפריט?
ודאי.
סליחה. אפשר כוס מים בבקשה?
מיד.
סליחה. אפשר להזמין?
כן.
Hi everyone, good to see you again. I'm Yara and today we're going to be doing 10 lines you need for introducing yourself in Hebrew. So let's start. Shmi Yara. My name is Yara. Okay, this one is the most basic. Shmi Yara. My name is Yara. Shmi means my name and it's the same for men and women. You should know though this is a bit formal. The casual way of introducing yourself is saying קוראים לי יערה, which literally means something like I'm called יערה. שלום, נעים להכיר אותך. Hello, it's nice to meet you. שלום, נעים להכיר אותך. Hello, it's nice to meet you. You say this when you're talking to a male. Otherwise, it's שלום, נעים להכיר אותך. אני מישראל. I'm from Israel. אני מישראל. I'm from Israel. You can obviously change that. I'm from Italy would be אני מאיטליה. I'm from America will be אני מאמריקה. אני גרה בירושלים. I live in Jerusalem. אני גרה בירושלים. I live in Jerusalem. I said the female form. The male form would be אני גר בירושלים. This verb, אני גרה, גר, it doesn't mean to live like to exist, but to live in a place. So, אני גרה בירושלים. אני לומדת עברית כבר שנה. I've been learning Hebrew for a year. אני לומדת עברית כבר שנה. I've been learning Hebrew for a year. For a male it would be אני לומד עברית כבר שנה. אני בת 27. I'm 27 years old. אני בת 27. I'm 27 years old. For a male, אני בן 27. אני מורה. I'm a teacher. אני מורה. I'm a teacher. Or for a male, אני מורה. You obviously don't have to say that if you're not a teacher. אחד התחביבים שלי הוא קריאה. One of my hobbies is reading. אחד התחביבים שלי הוא קריאה. One of my hobbies is reading. This sentence stays the same for male and for female speaker. אני נהנית להאזין למוזיקה. I enjoy listening to music. אני נהנית להאזין למוזיקה. I enjoy listening to music. For a male speaker, אני נהנה להאזין למוזיקה.
גדלתי בתל אביב. I grew up in Tel Aviv. גדלתי בתל אביב. I grew up in Tel Aviv. This sentence stays the same for a male and for a female speaker. Obviously, if you grew up somewhere else, you can also say גדלתי בניו יורק. I grew up in New York. Or גדלתי בפריז. I grew up in Paris. Okay, so these were 10 lines you need for introducing yourself in Hebrew. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye! One of my hobbies is reading.
Hi everyone, Edith here. Today we're going to talk about 10 responses to how are you? In Hebrew, of course. מה שלומך? How are you? מה שלומך? How are you? So yeah, like this is the most common way to ask people in Hebrew how they are. You can also say like, hey, what's up? Or, you know, how's it going? But the most simple way is מה שלומך? ואתה? And you? So after you've been asked how are you and you've given your response, you would ask the other person, and you? ואתה? אני בסדר. I'm fine. אני בסדר. I'm fine. Yeah, just בסדר is literally just fine. It can be, you know, fine, and it can be fine. שלומי לא רע. I'm not bad. שלומי לא רע. I'm not bad. So I think people usually would say that after maybe they had a bit of a rough time, I don't know, like maybe at work or something personal, and then when people ask them how they're doing, so they would say, oh, I'm not bad, like, you know, it's getting better. גם שלומי טוב. I'm fine too. גם שלומי טוב. I'm fine too. When you say גם in the beginning of the sentence, it's the same as saying in English too, but in the end of the sentence. So in Hebrew you would say it first. גם שלומי טוב. אני ישנוני. I'm sleepy. אני ישנוני. I'm sleepy. I think nowadays it's like a very common thing to say, like, how are you doing? Oh, I'm sleepy. When do you guys actually like wake up? I only wake up after I have a cup of coffee and then maybe another hour. אני מרגיש רע. I'm feeling bad. אני מרגיש רע. I'm feeling bad. So if you're ill, usually yes, ill or having a headache, you would say that you feel bad. It's not so much as like an emotional thing, you know, I'm hurting, I'm sad. It's like, I feel bad, I'm ill. שלומי מצוין. I'm great. שלומי מצוין. I'm great. When you're really doing well, like you're really happy, it's like, I'm great. מצוין. איך הולך איתך? How have you been? איך הולך איתך? How have you been? So since in Hebrew we don't have as much tenses as English, and we don't have like all of the progressive tenses, it's just past, present, and future. When we try to ask like, oh, how have you been during the last few days? How have you been during the last few weeks? So we would say, איך הולך איתך? How are things going for you? Pretty much that's the literal translation. מה נשמע? What's up? מה נשמע? What's up? So this is like the number one most common expression in Israel when you ask people how they're doing, and it's very friendly and casual. Like when you say מה נשמע, it's just like saying what's up. And the literal translation, it's like saying what is heard, like what do you have to tell me that is new? Please do, please tell me. So that's it, that's מה נשמע. So thanks everyone, thank you for watching that video. Today we discussed about how to respond to how are you. Please let me know in the comments below, like, what are the most surprising responses you ever gotten. It's like, oh, how are you? Yeah, my dog died. You know, stuff like that. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like up this video. And also don't forget to get into HebrewPod101.com for more content and more Hebrew. And I will see you all next time. להתראות.
You are at a train station where you're attempting to buy an express ticket from a ticket machine. Which option should you choose for a round-trip ticket? Which option should you choose for a round-trip ticket? The option on the bottom left is for a round-trip ticket.
כרטיס הלוך וחזור.
You are at a train station where you've just bought an express ticket. Which train car, row, and seat number are you in? Which train car, row, and seat number are you in? The ticket says that you're in train car number 1 in the 8th row in seat C.
בכרטיס כתוב שאתה יושב בקרון מספר 1 בשורה השמינית במושב C.
You are at a train station where you're reading the train schedule for an express ticket that you've just bought. On which days are there no express trains running? On which days are there no express trains running? There are no trains running on Shabbat and on holidays.
אין רכבות מהירות בשבת ובחגים.
You are on a platform at a train station where you're waiting for your train. Suddenly, a message appears on the display. What does the message on the display mean? What does the message on the display mean? The display reads, "The next train will not stop."
הרכבת הבאה לא תעצור.
You are at a train station where you're looking for the best exit to catch a taxi. Which exit should you take to get to the taxi rank? Which exit should you take to get to the taxi rank? You should take the east exit in order to get to the taxi rank.
יציאה מזרחית.
Want to speak real Hebrew from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at HebrewPod101.com.
בחנות הספרים, אישה שואלת משהו את המוכר. איזה ספר האישה מעוניינת לראות? סלח לי, הייתי רוצה לראות את הספר שעל המדף ההוא.
איזה ספר תרצי?
זה בנושא מכוניות.
רגע אחד בבקשה. זה?
כן, בדיוק.
בבקשה.
איזה ספר האישה מעוניינת לראות? בחנות הספרים, אישה שואלת משהו את המוכר. איזה ספר האישה מעוניינת לראות? סלח לי, הייתי רוצה לראות את הספר שעל המדף ההוא.
איזה ספר תרצי?
זה בנושא מכוניות.
רגע אחד בבקשה. זה?
כן, בדיוק.
בבקשה.
When learning a new language, we sometimes have a hard time with things like procrastination, discouragement, or failure. But don't panic. With a good strategy, you'll be able to overcome these difficulties. Are you ready to discover the 4 habits of successful learners? Number 1, optimize your time. When learning a language, it's important to dedicate time to your studies regularly, even if sometimes it's difficult. You're busy with school, work, family, or friends, but you can spread out your learning throughout the day. Study whenever you have small gaps of time in your busy schedule. This can be when you're on the metro, on your lunch break, or while you're exercising. Our podcast learning format fits perfectly into your tight schedule. Number 2, consistency with your chosen method. There are a lot of options when it comes to courses and learning materials. Switching from one method to another can confuse you and disrupt your progress. Focusing on one learning method will make a difference. Our method has been created and optimized by real teachers, so you can stick to it with confidence. Number 3, use your language background. Many languages share some commonalities. You can find words that look or sound similar, or even share the same grammar structure. A little bit of language background will give you an edge while learning. Number 4, study continuously. People are excited when they start learning a new language. The enthusiasm usually lasts until the first roadblock. This can lead to discouragement and procrastination. But don't burn yourself out. Learning a language is a marathon, not a sprint. Don't try to learn it all at once. Break things down into more digestible chunks. Learning step by step might feel slow, but it's an efficient way to learn a language. With patience, motivation, and good resources, you'll master the language. Remember, you can't learn a language overnight, but with motivation and these daily lessons, you'll be on the road to fluency.
איש מתקשר למרפאה. עד איזו שעה הוא צריך להגיע למרפאה? שלום, איך אפשר לעזור לך?
באיזה שעה אתם סוגרים היום?
אנחנו סוגרים בשעה 6, אבל בבקשה תגיע לפני 5:30.
בסדר. תודה.
עד איזו שעה הוא צריך להגיע למרפאה? איש מתקשר למרפאה. עד איזו שעה הוא צריך להגיע למרפאה? שלום, איך אפשר לעזור לך?
באיזה שעה אתם סוגרים היום?
אנחנו סוגרים בשעה 6, אבל בבקשה תגיע לפני 5:30.
בסדר. תודה.
ילד קורא מהיומן שלו. מהו הדבר הראשון שהילד עשה היום?
המזג אוויר היה נהדר היום. הלכתי לשחות בבריכה אחר הצהריים, והלכתי לראות סרט בערב. גם למדתי כל הבוקר. היה יום לא רע.
מהו הדבר הראשון שהילד עשה היום? ילד קורא מהיומן שלו. מהו הדבר הראשון שהילד עשה היום?
המזג אוויר היה נהדר היום. הלכתי לשחות בבריכה אחר הצהריים, והלכתי לראות סרט בערב. גם למדתי כל הבוקר. היה יום לא רע.
אישה ואיש מביטים בתצלום. באיזה תצלום הם מביטים? זה תצלום של קבוצת הכדורגל שהבן שלך בא לו? מיהו הבן שלך?
זה?
הוא הכי גבוה.
כן. הוא אפילו יותר גבוה ממני.
באיזה תצלום הם מביטים? אישה ואיש מביטים בתצלום. באיזה תצלום הם מביטים? זה תצלום של קבוצת הכדורגל שהבן שלך בא לו? מיהו הבן שלך?
זה?
הוא הכי גבוה.
כן. הוא אפילו יותר גבוה ממני.
In this lesson we learn some of the most common greetings used in Israel. אתם מוכנים? Are you ready? אז בואו נתחיל. So let's start. The most used greeting is Shalom. Shalom. We also saw it in the first lesson. Shalom simply means hi or hello. It can also mean goodbye. We use it when we meet, but also can use it when we part. Shalom means something like peace, so it makes the greeting very special. It is common to say shalom in both informal and formal situations, and at any time of the day. In the morning, you can also greet people with Boker Tov. Boker Tov, which means good morning. Boker is morning, and Tov is good. During the evening, we also say Erev Tov. Erev Tov. Erev is Hebrew for evening, so Erev Tov means good evening. Boker Tov and Erev Tov are used when we meet someone, but when we leave, we don't say them again. Another way to say goodbye in Hebrew is lehitraot. Le-hit-ra-ot. It is actually more common to use lehitraot than shalom when leaving. But most people in Israel just say bye. Bye! Now you can greet people in many different ways in Hebrew. Let's review them all again. When meeting people in formal and informal situations, Shalom. In the morning until the afternoon we say Boker Tov, and in the evening Erev Tov. When living in any situation, Lehitraot, or simply bye. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Yana's insights. In formal situations, Israeli people commonly greet each other by shaking hands. On the other hand, if we meet someone we are very friendly with, we kiss each other on one cheek. Don't be afraid to do it with your Israeli friends. It's normal. את מדברת אנגלית, or סליחה, אתה מדבר אנגלית? Excuse me, do you speak English? We mentioned the word סליחה, which means excuse me in Hebrew. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use סליחה and other words when apologizing in Hebrew. Slicha is a very common word and can be used in many situations. We can use slicha in both formal and informal occasions, such as when we are ordering something in bars or restaurants. For example, סליחה, קפה אחד בבקשה. Excuse me, one coffee please. סליחה, קפה אחד בבקשה. Do you remember what בבקשה means? We can also use it when asking a question. סליחה, איפה רחוב דיזינגוף? Excuse me, where is Dizengoff Street? Sometimes we also hear people say סליחה, which means excuse me, when we want to draw somebody's attention. Also, in a situation when you want to make your way through a crowd, for example, סליחה is used. Israeli people use סליחה also for apologizing. For example, if you accidentally bump into a person while making your way through that crowd. We also use the word אני מצטער or אני מצטערת if you really want to apologize. You also might hear this phrase translated as forgive me or I'm sorry in English. אני מצטערת. אני מצטערת. If you're a woman, and אני מצטער. אני מצטער. if you are a man. The phrase אני מצטער or אני מצטערת has a deeper meaning of apology than סליחה, although both mean I'm sorry. אני is I am, regardless of your gender, but the verb be sorry changes according to your gender. So מצטערת is I'm sorry or I apologize if it's a woman, and אני מצטער if it's a man. If you feel really bad about something and want to deepen the apology even more, you can just add מאוד to your apology, which simply means very much. We already used it in the lesson about self-introductions. Remember? Shalom, אני יאנה, נעים מאוד. You can also add מאוד to get אני מאוד מצטערת. אני מאוד מצטערת for a woman, or אני מאוד מצטער. אני מאוד מצטער for a man. It simply translates as I'm really sorry into English. But please remember that you cannot use מאוד with סליחה. Now it's time for Yana's insights. If you are not sure about what will be the proper phrase to use as an apology, it's always your safest bet to simply use סליחה. In this way, Israeli people will definitely appreciate your politeness. In this lesson, we're going to learn a very useful phrase. Do you speak English? If you find yourself in a situation where you need assistance in English, this phrase can be a lifesaver. And because you're asking it in Hebrew, you can be sure that everyone will understand what you're saying, even if the answer is no. As already mentioned in previous lessons, in Hebrew there is a difference between male and female speech. So if you want to ask a woman, say, את מדברת אנגלית? את מדברת אנגלית? In Hebrew, verbs change depending on the pronoun that is used, according to the gender of both the speaker and the addressee. את, in this case, is the female pronoun for you. So the verb מדברת, which means speak, refers to a female. For example, if I said, I speak English, it will be אני מדברת אנגלית. אני, as we learned already, means I am. אני is the only way you can say I am in Hebrew, regardless of one's gender. Then, מדברת is the female conjugation for speak or speaking. So, אני מדברת אנגלית will be used only by a female speaker. On the other hand, if you're asking a man if he speaks English, you say, אתה מדבר אנגלית? אתה מדבר אנגלית? אתה in this case is the male pronoun for you. So the verb מדבר, which means speak, refers to a man only. So if you're a man and want to say, I speak English, it will be אני מדבר אנגלית. It is important to notice that in Hebrew the pronoun and the verb change according to female, male, and also to singular or plural of the same sentence. So basically there are 4 ways to say each phrase. But don't worry, we will talk more about that later. For now, please only remember that you can use both את מדברת אנגלית and אתה מדבר אנגלית only if you're addressing one person. So let's review them once again. את מדברת אנגלית if you're asking a woman, and אתה מדבר אנגלית if you're asking a man. Adding סליחה, excuse me, the sentence becomes even more polite. סליחה, את מדברת אנגלית? סליחה, את מדברת אנגלית? Or, סליחה, אתה מדבר אנגלית? סליחה, אתה מדבר אנגלית? The responses you will receive could be one of these 3. כן, yes, כן. קצת, a little. קצת. לא, אני לא מדבר אנגלית. Or, לא, אני לא מדברת אנגלית. No, I don't speak English. לא, אני לא מדבר אנגלית. לא, אני לא מדברת אנגלית. To make every sentence negative in Hebrew, you only have to add לא before the verb, which simply means no. It's easy, isn't it? Now it's time for Yana's insights. For those of you who are not only English speakers, you can obviously use this question with any language you need. Israeli people study other European languages at school, so maybe you will get lucky. Just substitute Anglit with Russit for Russian, Italkit for Italian, Sfaradit for Spanish, and Germanit for German. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to use good manners as we thank people. אתם מוכנים? Are you ready? אז בואו נתחיל. So let's start. There are several ways to thank someone. Let's start with the easiest. It's just one word. תודה. תודה. תודה means thank you. When saying thank you very much, you just need to add רבה. תודה רבה. תודה רבה. רבה means a lot. So תודה רבה is like saying thank you very much. During the last lesson, we mentioned two ways of addressing someone, depending on his or her gender. תודה or תודה רבה can be used with anyone. But in case you want to personalize the greeting, there is another phrase you should use. If you want to thank a woman, you say תודה רבה לך. תודה רבה לך. Now, if you want to thank a man, you say תודה רבה לך. תודה רבה לך. Let's break this phrase down. לך means something like to you when you're talking to a woman. תודה רבה לך is thank you very much. לך is to you when you're talking to a man. תודה רבה לך is thank you very much. How do you answer? It's easy. There are two ways to answer. The first one is simple. You're welcome. בבקשה. בבקשה. It's the simplest way to answer. But it is more polite to say אין בעד מה. אין בעד מה. Its literal meaning is it's nothing, and it is a common and polite way to respond to someone thanking you. So when someone is saying תודה or תודה רבה to you, we can simply reply with בבקשה or אין בעד מה. Now it's time for Yana's insights. If you're not sure about whether to use תודה רבה לך or תודה רבה לך, keeping it simple is always your safest bet. תודה can be used with just about anyone, anywhere, and anytime. In this lesson, you are going to learn how to introduce yourself in Hebrew. In Hebrew, there is no formal and informal language. You can use this introduction in both cases and keep it simple. However, in Hebrew, there is a difference between male and female language. Let's first see how Israeli people introduce themselves in a simple way. Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im me'od. Hi, I'm Yana. It's a pleasure. Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im me'od. Start by saying Shalom, ani, then saying your name. Shalom, ani Yana. Finally say Na'im me'od. Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im me'od. And now let's see the same sentence if you wish to be more specific in addressing the person you are introduced to. If you're introducing yourself to a woman, you should say, Shalom, ani Yana, na'im me'od lehakir otach. Hi, I'm Yana. It's a pleasure to meet you. Shalom, ani Yana, na'im me'od lehakir otach. If you are talking to a man, you should say, Shalom, ani Yana, na'im me'od lehakir otcha. Hi, I'm Yana. It's a pleasure to meet you. Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im me'od lehakir otcha. So, what has changed from the previous introduction? Let's take a close look at this together. The last part of the introduction has been changed based on the gender of the person you are talking to. Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im me'od lehakir otach for a woman versus Shalom, ani Yana. Na'im me'od lehakir otcha for a man. Ani, in this case, has not been changed, and in both cases stands for I am, regardless of your gender. The last sounds of the last word changes, however. Otach, if you are talking to a woman, and otcha, if you are speaking to a man. One more time. The simple way to introduce yourself in Hebrew is Shalom, ani Yana, na'im me'od. In case you want to personalize the greeting, you say שלום, אני יאנה. נעים מאוד להכיר אותך. שלום, אני יאנה. נעים מאוד להכיר אותך. Now it's time for Yana's insights. When you introduce yourself, it's a good habit to shake hands in Israel. If you don't want to worry about using the right word for men and women, just say na'im me'od, as I said at the beginning of this lesson. There is no cultural importance if you add the last part to the introduction. It just makes the sentence more complete. Are you feeling confident as a beginner-level language learner? Are you ready to move up to the intermediate level? Here are some tips to help you make that leap and advance your language learning progress. Tip number 1, determine your skill level. It's important to look across your skills in the major language competencies: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. By taking our level assessment test, you can review your skills in each competency and see your strengths and weaknesses. Keep in mind it's normal to be better in some skills than others. Premium Plus users can take our level assessment test and get personalized recommendations and learning pathways based on your results. Once you've figured out which skills need work, it's time to take action. No matter which of your language skills need to be improved, make sure you choose a method that's both effective and fun to help maintain your regular learning routine. Tip number 2, listening. The most effective way to build your listening comprehension is by building a strong vocabulary. The more vocab you master, the easier it will be to understand the context and details of the conversation. Songs in the target language are a key listening tool that will teach you common, everyday vocabulary. By learning and memorizing the lyrics, you're building up your vocabulary. If you really want your listening skills to take off, listen to our podcasts. We have hundreds of hours of audio lessons for you to listen to. Before you know it, you'll be able to understand shows and movies. Tip number 3, speaking. Add speaking elements to your language routine. Try shadowing podcasts, repeating along while you listen. Match the native speaker's pronunciation and intonation. This is a fantastic way to improve your fluency and accuracy. You can also find a partner for conversation exchange. A partner can help correct your mistakes and teach you more natural ways to phrase your ideas. Tip number 4, writing. An easy way to start writing more often is by keeping a one-sentence journal. Write one sentence in a journal every day. It doesn't take a lot of time and is a great habit for beginners to build a routine. You have to be consistent to make improvements. Ask native speakers to correct your writing to improve even faster. You can submit sentences and phrases to your teacher using Premium Plus. Tip number 5, reading. Reading is a skill you can improve by yourself. There's no need to rush. It doesn't matter if you read 1 or 100 pages at a time. What matters is that you understand what you read. Write down new words as you read them to practice later. If there's an audio version, read along with the narrator. It'll help you read at a slightly faster speed than normal. You can use the audio that comes with each of our lessons. Bonus tip, never give up. Where do your language skills currently stand? Where do you want them to be? How do you get there? Whatever your goal is, make it clear and part of your life. You'll reach it if you stay focused and positive. And if you really want your skills to take off, make use of our tools and resources. They're designed to help you get to the next level in the fastest, easiest, and most fun way. Just click the link in the description to sign up for a free lifetime account. Sign up takes less than 30 seconds. Click the link in the description and start learning right away. I'll see you there. Bye! Remember, here's what you can do to learn all of these words by heart. Drill these words with our spaced repetition flashcards, which will help cement these words into your long-term memory. Save them to the word bank, your personal vocabulary collection, where you can print out your own study sheets, or review the words with our looped vocabulary slideshow and play it until you know all of the words. So click the link in the description right now and sign up for your free lifetime account to get these lessons and study tools.